Hi, Honest Discussioner here. I am back, baby, in HD, widescreen, all that good stuff, assuming the video rendering went well. Funny story, I've been without my computer for 2 months. I had the motherboard, the power supply went out, and that fried all the other parts apparently too. So I sent it in, and after 2 months I finally get my computer back. Do you have any idea how great it is to get your computer back? If you do, I would like to ask you if you know how great it is to get your computer back and have it still work, because that part I don't know. Yes, I plugged it in and nothing happened on the screens. So apparently it's either the video card or the motherboard is still broken, and I have to send it back in. Thankfully they're paying shipping both ways, and thankfully I won a new computer at my job. It was a raffle. It's an old one, so it's new to me. But it's got a Pentium D processor and a quad-core 2.8 gigahertz. It's got a fit an okay video card, and it only had a gig of RAM, but since my other computer isn't needing it, I took out some of the RAM from that and added it in, and now this computer works pretty well. I can do all my projects with it, videos, and also my web design. So yeah, I'm back. I'm sure you guys are thrilled. Now, on to the truths and a lie. We have 7 different ones. 2 of them are lies, the rest are true. Which ones are they? Let's start with number 1. And number 1 is, did I in fact sing at Carnegie Hall for a live audience and also at Veterans Stadium for a Phillies game singing the Star Spangled Banner? And that is, drumroll please, true. I actually was in the high school choir, and I was a senior, and I was in the chamber choir, which was one of the upper tiers, and I had actually got the opportunity to sing in front of a live audience at Carnegie Hall. Beautiful place. Carnegie Deli also has served some mega huge sandwiches. Highly recommend you go to either of them if you ever get the opportunity. But yes, it was quite an experience. And also for that same choir, I got to sing the Star Spangled Banner before a Mets game. If I recall, we lost. The Phillies lost. Losing his team in baseball, what do you expect? But especially back in that day. So yes, number 1 is true. Number 2, I have held 17 jobs in my life. Is that true or false? I really suck at drumming, but that is true. I have worked at a pasta plant. I've worked at a day camp. I've worked at Friendly's. I've worked at a Mexican-American restaurant as a busboy. I've worked at McDonald's. I've worked at 3 separate diners. I have worked at something called the Port Sky Cafe in Penn State, Altoona, although we all called it the Port Shit Cafe because that's kind of what it was. I have worked at Pizza Hut. I've worked at Olive Garden. I've worked at Walmart. I've worked at a retail store. I have worked at a place called Vector, which sells knives called Cutco knives. And I actually got paid for that. I worked at a doctor's office. I worked at a kindergarten, a place that, a daycare, basically. I was in charge of the kindergarten enrichment program. And I am also at where I currently am now as a data entry operator. 17 jobs, read them and weep. So, moving on to number 3. Do I collect glass dragons? Now, come on, guys. Do I really strike you as the kind of guy that would collect glass dragons? That was like a gimme. Of course, I collect glass dragons. Okay. There's a wonderful little glass shop down in the Adirondacks, Lake Placid. I don't know if you can really get a clear shot of this, but yes, my dad just got me this one his last trip down there. I get one every time I go down there. I only have a few, but I'm collecting them. I also have a glass swan up there that also doubles as a barometer. As the water goes up its neck, you know that it's going to be time to get a storm incoming. So, yes, number 3 is in fact true. Number 4, you all know that I love bourbon, but did you know that I've had every single bourbon at least once at the local liquor store that I frequent. And for this, I will pour myself a little bit, or actually whatever's left of my current bottle of Knob Creek. For this, is that true? No, that is not true. And King Heathen got it right, for mostly right at least. It's true that I have not tried many of them, as he said, because they're simply, I know they're crap. I have no desire to try Old Granddad, regular Jim Beams, the lower grade Jack Daniels, not the one with the black label, but the green label that's even lower quality than the black label. I've not tried. And not just that, but there's other ones on the higher end. I just don't feel like investing a lot of money in when they're going to be gambles. Four Roses, I have never tried. Booker's, I've never tried. I never really liked the two Wild Turkeys I've had, so I never bothered with any of the rest of them. There's a whole assortment of them I have. I'm happy with my Knob Creek for most of the times, my Gentleman Jack. On some really nice occasions, maybe some Jack Single Barrel, and every now and then maybe I'll switch it up with some Rye 1. But yeah, for the most part, there's been a lot I haven't tried. If I ever get the money, I'll try more. I promise you guys. I know your heart's just breaking that there's bourbon going untried by me, but unfortunately it is the truth. So moving on to, let's see, what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So number 5. I've never been out of the time zone. Now, you guys know I'm a traveling kind. I like to go around places. So, of course, I've never been out of the time zone. To my knowledge, I've never been out of the time zone. I've been as far west as Ohio for the Godless Gathering. I've been as far east as, Jersey Shore. But I have been outside of the country when I went to Jamaica for my sister's wedding. So, yeah, never been to Canada, though. Sorry, Michael Payton and Wildcard and all my other Canadian friends. But someday, I do really like your side of Niagara Falls. As far as I know, I hear it's better than ours. Oh, no surprise there. Okay, moving on. Number 6. Up until college, I was only interested in listening to Billy Joel and Phantom of the Opera growing up. That is true, unfortunately. I didn't grow up... I grew up in a very affluent neighborhood. 2 affluent neighborhoods, technically. My dad and my mom both lived in very big houses, but I never actually got an allowance. I did actually, technically. I got $3 a week, but that was into savings, and I think that went all to college. And then there was $2 a week that I got to spend on anything I wanted. $2. And what did I do with this $2 a week? I saved it up until the end of the year, and I bought everyone Christmas gifts with it. This was all during middle school and high school, so I never had any money to buy CDs, and when I was in the car with my mom, she just played Madonna the entire time. So, yes, my only real things for music were things that I already knew, like Billy Joel, and I got introduced to Phantom of the Opera in 7th grade during music class, and I fell in love with that. So my main 2 musical influences up until college, when I discovered the wonder of MTV, was, if you could call it that, was Billy Joel and Phantom of the Opera. So that is true, which leaves us with number 7, Samuel Adams, Boston Lager, right here. One of my favorite beers. And the question was, did I in fact, or the truth and the lie was, did I in fact have a beer with Jim Koch, the owner and founder of Samuel Adams Boston Beer Company? And that is, if you've been counting, you should already figured it out now, a lie. I've actually never been to the Boston Brewery, despite really, really wanting to go. So, yeah. My girlfriend and I are planning on rectifying that sometime this fall. If anyone wants to get a trip together to go up to Boston and hang out and go to the Boston Beer Place and also Quincy's Market. I have been to Boston before, but before I was 21. Again, same choir trip that I went to the Carnegie Hall thing with. Yeah, so that was the lie. The lies were, I have not tried every bourbon I've come across in my liquor store, and not by a long shot, in fact, and I've never been to the Boston brewery, let alone actually get the opportunity to have a beer with Jim Koch. If I did, I probably just would have passed out from joy. But yes, that was it. Look forward to some serious videos coming up, and thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Honest Discussioner out.